place of low energy, but especially right now, because right now a lot of us, we're just stuck in the house, and it's so hard to understand, like, I'm not doing anything, I'm like here all the time. Why do I feel like I have such low energy, and what can I do in this situation about it to feel better about this, feel better about my low energy, maybe improve my low energy, or maybe I'm just, what techniques can I use to embrace it more? How can I make the most out of it? That's it. So how can I make the most out of having low energy, which sounds kind of weird, but there is a way, instead of just trying to fix it, trying to change it, because sometimes there's actually way more power in embracing where you're at right now. So right now you have really low energy, you're waking up with low energy, massive sign of depression. A lot of us are really, especially a lot of us like myself who deal with their own mental health issues, this sort of situation where your life is sort of on hold and you're being stuck in the house, it can really trigger things like depression, anxiety, and you can find yourself waking up tired. It's really strange, but that is definitely a symptom that I know it's not just me that's been going through. I know that there's probably thousands of people going through the same thing. So the first tip that I have for embracing this low energy, and what can I do to make the most out of having a low energy. So my first thing, and I've just given it this name, I just made it up, so that's what it is, because I don't know if this is a thing, I don't know, I've not looked it up or anything. It's just something I've been doing to really make the most of this situation, which is having a low energy. I've given it the name Intentional Manifestation Naps. Okay? Intentional Manifestation Naps, you heard me right. So, yeah, it is what the name says. So I've basically been intentionally manifesting while taking a nap at the same time. So usually I will set my alarm for between 2 to 3 hours. I would say, like, you don't really want to do less than an hour to really get into the intentional manifestation nap. I normally do between 2 and 3 hours. I find that works perfectly for me. How do you do an intentional manifestation nap, you might be asking? Well, it's pretty much how it sounds. Set an alarm on my phone for the 2 to 3 hours. Then I basically think about something I really want to manifest into my life, something that makes me feel excited, something that I wish I was doing right now if I wasn't feeling low energy, if I wasn't on a lockdown, if I wasn't here where I am in my life right now. Like, if it's something, it could be something so far away, like something that you couldn't possibly do right now, you know, but it's something that you want to manifest into your life. Think about that thing and go down, take your nap, get comfy. I find this actually works really well when you don't do it in your normal sleeping place, and not necessarily in your bed, but do it on the sofa. Grab yourself a blanket, a pillow, do this on the sofa. If you can't do it on the sofa because you live with other people, then do it on your bed, but maybe grab a blanket and lay on top of your bed rather than getting inside the covers, because I just find it works better, because we're not going to sleep, we're doing this intentional manifestation nap, which you don't want to go into a full sleep and start dreaming, because obviously that can happen, but unless you're doing a lucid dream, it's not the same thing. You really want to lose yourself in this manifestation that you're creating. So what you want to do is really start to live out in your mind, in your imagination, just like you would in a daydream, maybe you don't even do this much at all, so you might have to really start to work this muscle again. We used it a lot as kids. We would daydream all the time as kids. We would have massive imaginations as kids, and we do seem to lose that as we get older. So this is another way for you to really start stretching your imagination again and get that working, get that flowing again, because your imagination is a huge part of manifesting and a huge part of bringing your manifestations into reality, because you need to have thought it first, you need to have imagined it first. Taking this time to just indulge, it's not like just these passing daydreams where like thinking, oh, it would be nice if I was here doing that, or wouldn't it be nice if I had this. It's not just a passing daydream, you're fully indulging into the fantasy of this daydream. You really want to make sure you're hyper focusing on all the details of what it is that you want, yeah? So you really want to imagine like every single detail, like down to like clothing, smells, how things feel in scale to you. Really losing yourself in your imagination here, really going for it, and letting it be as vivid as possible. Then when your alarm goes off, and praying that you stayed with the visuals, so by staying with the visuals, and you're conscious that you're napping, but you're really staying with the visuals and you're creating them, because it's your imagination, your creation. By doing that for the full hour, 2 to 3 hours, when your alarm goes off, you will actually find that you feel really good, because you've spent all this time in the realm of where you want to be, in the realm of the future possibilities that you most likely want. You are no doubt feeling a lot better, and what I'm saying is, this is not about trying to change the fact that you feel low energy, that you feel tired, that you're waking up tired and things like that. You're not trying to change that. You're accepting, this is how I feel. I'm so tired that I'm just going to lie down for 2 to 3 hours and take a nap. But in that time, you're being productive in the sense of you're not lying there feeling bad, because that's what I think a lot of us do. We don't realise it. It's like we're so tired that we end up just lying around watching stuff on the laptop or the TV, which is other people's imaginations, other people's worlds and realities and visions being fed to us, which is not our vision, not our reality, and we're being told what to think. But at the same time, we're feeling like, oh, I'm so tired, I feel so low energy, and I'm just lying here doing nothing. And you don't feel good about that, because you're not doing anything. You're watching other people's visions and you're not creating any of your own visions. So I definitely recommend that this is a way to sort of make the most of feeling that low energy without trying to change what is, trying to change who you are, how you feel, because that's not healthy either, to always be like, oh, I feel this, I need to change it, I feel anxious, I need to change it, I feel tired, I need to fix this. Sometimes you just have to accept how you are and love how you are, because always trying to change, always trying to fix ourselves, yes, sometimes, that stuff is called for, if you're doing it in a loving way, but all the time you can just get a bit hard on yourself. So I found this is a great tool. This intentional manifestation naps is a really good tool for embracing this feeling and not trying to change it, not trying to fix it all the time. So highly recommend. And also you are just strengthening your vision and strengthening your manifestations that you want for your future at the same time. So it feels quite productive, and when you come out of that nap, you feel really good. You've been spending lots of time doing what you want to do, instead of watching other people's vision and feeling like you're not doing anything. I do love to watch stuff and see other people's visions, of course, that's the world we live in, but sometimes you really do need to focus on yourself and where you're going and your plans. So I found that really made me feel good and helped me when I'm on those days. I don't do it every day, but it's on those days where I feel so tired and so low energy, and you start to feel down on yourself. So this is a great way to embrace how you feel. Like I said, not try and fix yourself all the time. It's a really loving, kind way to treat yourself when you're feeling like that. Okay, highly recommend. That's my #1 tip. These are sort of more fix your mood tips if you don't have the time to take that nap. So it's like loving ways for you to treat yourself when you're feeling this way, or daily things that in general will slowly begin to raise your vibration. So the next one would be eat more fruit, and this is something I need to do more of. But whenever I eat fruit, I feel my vibration is rising, and I definitely feel a lot lighter. I feel more energized, and I feel better because it is the optimal food for the human being. When you have that fruit, you do feel so much better in the moment, and it's so healthy and good for you. And that's such a loving, kind act to do for yourself, is to, instead of eat some sweets or junk food, to give yourself some fresh, ripe, sweet fruit. That's a really kind, loving act. At the same time, it really helps with low energy. It definitely helps with the low energy. It gives you that little boost of energy in a healthy way, not like coffee, which I drink a lot of coffee, but I find if I have coffee, it's not long till I feel a crash, and then my low energy is right back. With fruit, it's so much more healthy way to have an energy boost. Walks in nature. Walking out not just around your town, but if you can possibly take a walk around nature. If you have a lovely garden, then you are blessed. I am jealous. Get out in that garden. Listening to the birds. Like, I really like to go to the pond and I like to watch the ducks. I really love ducks, but I find spending time out in nature and just watching the wildlife, like, getting on with its life, you know. If you watch the bees, like, going around doing their job, and you watch the ducks just living their life, and now it's sort of the time where you're seeing all the ducklings and stuff like that. Even if you're just sitting out in your garden and you're listening to the birds, like, I think like certain birds are really cute, and you find, like, you know, you can notice if you're in the same place every day. Like, I go to my horses' stables every day, and I always see this little robin. He's so cute. He's so small, and he's always just around. He lives in the tree right next to their stable, and it's just nice to notice him, and it does make you feel like more alive. Like, I don't know what it is, it's just like being out and around, living nature makes you feel more alive. So definitely walks in nature, or just being out in nature in general when you can, when the weather's nice. Getting that sun as well, like when the sun literally gives you energy, just like the sun gives the plants energy to grow, it gives us energy as well. So it's the main energy source for everybody. So definitely getting that bit of sun every day if you can. Another one I wrote down is cuddles, and I don't get enough cuddles, but cuddles are so good for the human being. Like, I heard, like, I don't know, you're supposed to have, my sister told me once, you're supposed to have like so many cuddles a day, like, you know, but every time you have a cuddle, you really feel the benefit of it. It literally just like brings a surge into your heart chakra of joy, like a surge of joy, you know, whoever you're hugging, unless you're hugging someone you don't want to hug, but that's not really ever the case. I don't live with anyone, I live alone, so I don't really get this privilege. Like, sometimes when I see my sister, and the other day I finally saw my best friend after 2 months and we had a big hug. But yeah, I don't get enough hugs from people. But if you are like me and you live alone but you have animals, I lie down and I hug with my cat. You might have seen in my vlogs already, I lie down and I hug with my cat at least once a day, mostly twice a day. We lay down and we just have cuddles, and I hold him up to my chest and we cuddle lying down together, and it really does bring that surge of joy into your heart chakra. So, and that gives you a little boost of energy, you know. So if you have a partner, then be making the most of that, especially if you live together and you have a partner. Like, you're really blessed to have that access to love, you know. So really make the most of that and embrace those cuddles. Like, have a minimum of like 20 long cuddles a day if you're in that situation. I think, you know, when it's just like your friends and family, you can't ask for too many hugs because it's not normal in our society. But if you have a partner, then really make the most of that. Like, trust me, because especially if you're feeling this low energy like we're talking about, that's really going to help you, you know. And that's what your partner's there for. You're there for each other, to be there for that physical love and support. Okay, I put drink more water or herbal tea, and herbal tea, I would say. I need to drink more water. So this is like sort of telling myself, but when I do drink more water, I always feel a little bit better, a little bit more energized. And swapping out, maybe if you drink a lot of coffee, like I drink a lot of coffee sometimes, so I've been swapping that out often for a herbal tea instead. I've been really liking raspberry leaf tea, so do that. Okay, the last thing I want to suggest is meditation. Getting yourself a daily meditation practice is something I'm still working on. I go through phases of being like this, like, religious meditator who's like meditating an hour or more a day, and then I go through phases where my self-care just like falls to the flipping floor and meditating goes out the window, you know. But I do find that meditation is just such a good tool for you to just give yourself that time, that love, and it does give you more energy, especially over the long run of doing it. So if you keep it up, you really feel the benefits much more than if you just do it once in a blue moon. If you struggle with anxiety like myself and you find it really hard to meditate, sometimes even with music or with guided meditation, because, you know, it can really be hard to focus, and then you're like, oh, I've lost focus, what are they saying? And, you know, if you struggle with that, like, I highly suggest this meditation technique from a lady called Jane Goodard. She's got a meditation technique which is called the relaxation response. So it's like, basically she has a little audio you can download from her website. Anyway, I highly recommend that meditation for anxious people. That's everything I have for you for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that you gained some benefits from this. It's not really my style to give advice, give tips, unless it's a pick a card, because that's just coming from spirit. But this is just something that I've been struggling with, and I found this stuff to really help me, and I thought it can't hurt to share this with you guys. So I hope that you're having a lovely day. Thank you so much for watching,